Why, hello. A little bit ago, I put up a poll asking what I should make for the next video. Of course, you guys had to pick the hardest option on there. Rude. But the people demand it, and so I shall make it. You're just teaching me to never give you guys options again. So today, we're pillaging nature, or rather Michael's, and creating a flowery beast. But first, swing! This guy is only available for 48 more hours, and after that 48 hours, he's gone forever. On the real, the more I sell of these little dudes, the more options I have in the future to make different types of plushes and even other merch. I don't sell my art. One, it's pretty expensive, and two, I don't make nearly enough things to offer to so many of you. So to be able to have hand in making a plush that's specifically to our YouTube channel, I said art because you're a part of it too, just being able to offer this to you guys is just like, it means a lot to me, and the fact that any of you guys even want something from me also means a lot to me. So, you know, if you want him, thingy, yummy, take me home. And because this is the final 48, I am allowed to give you guys a 10% off coupon. So if you would like this lovely little bean, check the description or else.
To start, we need some foil, some clay, and some good old sculpting tools. And a thumb of approval. Oh, and maybe a little regret too. Yeah. As usual, we start shaping the head with tinfoil because clay is heckin' expensive in this economy. Feel the vibe, feel it, and go for it. Oh, and go for it.
And there we go.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let you know now that this head sculpting journey was a little bit interesting, but it at least started out the same, where we just start shaping the head how we want it, desperately trying to use these mushroom eyes because I just want to use them in some type of project, and just try to get a general vibe of what I was going for. I think that's okay. Now I just have to repeat it, which is gonna be fun.
Yeah, I didn't even bother with that. I knew I didn't like it, so I just started over. And you're probably thinking, I'm proud of you for restarting and not settling, so this is the one that'll probably go well, right? No, not even close. Allow me to walk you through the journey of micro adjustments. This one barely got to the eyes. And this shot, believe it or not, is a completely different head. I almost thought I had it because I even started sculpting out the mouth.
I don't think I like this.
That's because you don't.
Yeah, it looks weird.
And that's because it does. I then said maybe a little bit more boxy of a type, but no, it also looked weird. I also tried a smaller mouth, but that looks even worse. You hear that sigh? That's the sigh of me questioning my life choices. And yet I still kept trying to force it.
All right, I admit defeat.
Admitting defeat apparently means just re-sculpting it all again like it's somehow gonna work this time. And apparently at some point I got so fed up I didn't even sculpt on screen, so I don't even know where this came from.
Hold up. This little rat is guilty! Right there! Coincidence? I think not!
Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
Clearly at this point I was rather frustrated. I don't even know like where this one slots in on the timeline of sculpting, because I didn't record it.
However, this one's head actually made it to completion. It still wasn't the vibe I was going for whatsoever, but I liked the shape enough to finish it. So now I just have a random head and no idea what to do with it. So if any of you guys have an idea, just let me know in the comments, because otherwise he's just gonna keep sitting on the shelf. And finally, we reached the head that was used in the final piece, and it just wasn't at all what I was expecting.
In fact, it was the exact opposite of what I was going for. I was going for slender and sleek, and this one ended up thick and bulky and somehow looking a little bit like an orca. But I think this is one of those things where sometimes art just takes on a mind of its own, and it's gonna want what it's gonna want, and apparently this was the head that it wanted to have. I sure didn't see it coming.
I mean, this guy doesn't even have a mouth because it just didn't feel right, so I didn't give him one. I'm sure there's some kind of lore that'll explain that. But after all that trial and turbulation, we can finally move on to making this guy's horns. And of course, because he's a little nature bean, we're breaking out the driftwood so some lovely branch-themed horns. And I use these two as a base.
Yeah, you know how you worry about me holding sharp pointy knives?
Hey, I am cutting away from myself. I'm being
I know how to properly cut towards myself.
What? You aren't supposed to do that.
I've been whittling on sticks my whole life.
Girl.
Oh, it just sounded so old. It's so hick.
You making spears and knives out there in the wilderness to get you them hunting? You little hunting dogs? Woo-woo!
Alright, I'm gonna head out.
This is not even ball and sockets. Yet somehow, I still fling them like they are. That branch just went into Stewie's dog bed.
What are you doing?
But after all that, we finally start building up the horns so they can actually be their final shape.
I finished what I was making for you.
Let me see.
I made
She sculpted my dog.
I made you Dewey.
Look at this masterpiece.
Isn't it wonderful?
His nose is a little high.
Did she sculpt you? Did she sculpt you? It was against my will.
Oh my god, you gave it a butt!
I give everything a butt.
Jerry got a butt.
Well, I am.
I'm putting that right there.
Curse all of your pictures.
He's perfect.
All of that was a prime example of why it takes me forever to finish projects. But now we have the final shape of the horns and we can attach them to the head. I use hot glue just to lightly hold them in place, but I plan on actually using epoxy sculpt so that I can blend it into the head so that it's a nice and seamless look. I wanted the horns to look like they were just actually growing out of the head, so I just needed to make the transition as smooth as I possibly could and then texture it to, make sure it matched. We all know I am not great at sculpting itty bitty things, but editor Sarah absolutely is, so she made all these variations of tiny little flowers because she loves me and I appreciate her. Now with either epoxy or super glue, I add them all over the branches. Looking snazzy. The head itself felt a little bit void of detail, so I just added a little bit of petals transitioning down around the eyes. Try not to do too much, but just, a little something something. And with that, the head is finally done, and this sculpting is going on for very long, so let's just breeze through these feet. You start with a nice little lump of clay, dangerous to use knives again to cut the paws, and then just shape your heart away. Normal style dragon feet didn't feel right, so once again I just went with whatever it wanted. Whew, man, that was quite a journey indeed, but my goodness, it is finally all done and we can finally move to ASMR armature time.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't have many of these pieces left, so I didn't want to just drop them all over the place and then lose a bunch and then never be able to actually finish the art top because I lost all the pieces. Get a slow push instead. Okay, let's do armature time. Come on, don't do this to me. This is a start. Oh god, these are thick ones. You did little front feet. Oh, you're a doozy. Oh. Oh.
With our long noodles frame done, it's time to build up that body.
Let go of me. Let go.
Trying to quilt back these big boys is not very aesthetically pleasing. I'm just kind of flopping all around. I can't keep anything in frame because he's so long. Forgive me. Gotta be done though.
Even with it flopping and flailing all over the place, we slowly rep quilt batting over and over and over and over and over and over again to build up that body shape. Usually I say we don't want to go too thickums for the fabric later on, but in this case we want to go too thickums because the fabric I'm adding later on is just thin cotton, so I kind of need the shape to match as much as possible for the later steps. But like I always say, if you want chunk boy, you go and you get chunk boy. If you want thin boy, you go and you get thin boy, okay? We support all body shapes and sizes here. Look how regal, look how fancy our little bean is. But now it's time to get on to sewing. And like I mentioned earlier, we're just using cotton. It's basically just gonna be a base so I can add all the flower petals as scales later on. But, you know, still gotta do a little bit of sewing, so let's do that. Easiest way I can explain what I'm doing is just lay out the very long noodle and cut kind of a weird shaped tube and just sew it on down the middle.
Oh, well, that was satisfying.
Quite indeed, it was very satisfying for me, so it actually made sewing a little bit more enjoyable, just seeing that thread disappear like that, just
That is quite the pose there, buddy. I don't think that's acceptable. It's just close toes.
Look at all these flowers. My goodness. And I have to cut each and every individual petal off and try to have some sort of organization and categorize each one into what kind of scale type they might be, because you got these boys, which are different than these kinds of boys, which are different than these boys, and these kind are a different shape. This is all for you. You better turn out well, because this is gonna take forever. This is not even all of it. I have an entire, this is just like big ones for potential belly scales, or if I need other ones. Something tells me I still don't even have enough flowers. Something just tells me that I don't have enough flowers for you. You know, maybe I'll make more trips to Michael's. Okay, let's do this. Yeah, spoiler alert, I think I had to do that an extra 4 times because this obviously wasn't nearly enough. But now that we have at least a start going of all the flower petals cut, we can start gluing them onto the body. And I'm going to be breaking out the Fabri-tac for that. So, let's just go and lose my sanity. Alright. These poses are getting real questionable again. Again, so inappropriate. We are a family-friendly channel.
Well, that was fun. Thanks for letting me do it, boss. But I think it's time to turn this into overdrive.
Hi. I just want to do a little check-in. I'm losing my mind.
I've been doing scales for like a week. I think I'm seeing cross-eyed now. Look at this right here. Now don't get me wrong.
It's looking fantastic. Fantastic. But I'm losing my damn mind. This is your fault. Well, it's my fault. I made you, but your fault. It's your fault.
I don't want to do it anymore. I'm gonna get back to it. This is a horrible idea. Okay, bye.
because we're just starting it with white.
Honestly, I'm not sure how much you're gonna be able to see because on camera it looks really white already. These are a little bit more obvious because they're gold. So I don't know how much you're gonna be able to see, but just trust that I'm about to put a fresh layer of white so it's all uniform. Okay. Yeah, I started with the head so you can kind of see how drastically different the different hues of the white were. The body was really, really warm, which wasn't exactly what I wanted when I added all the blues and purples and pinks and stuff. I needed a more cool tone. And so that is what we're doing now. Just adding the slightest hint. I mean, it definitely comes off a little bit too saturation here, but wherever I did have it a little bit too saturated, I just went back over it with white, so it was fine. But I just did a gradient from blue to purple to pink to kind of just give, I don't know, it's not really opal, but it's just, I love that color combo, and it fit the vibe, so, you know, that's what I did. And that's what we strive for on this channel, y'all. Vibes and the go for it method. The two principles of life. Then it's time to go in and make the driftwood look more woody. You know, it's really drab gray color, so I just added a little bit of life back into it. And then dry brushing a bunch of different hues just to make it look a little bit more real. For the eyes, I thought a pale yellow would be a nice contrast to everything else. I didn't want the flowers to just be white, so I just took a really watered down version of the scale colors and just kind of dabbed it really randomly all over the flowers. I wanted to kind of give it a watercolor effect. I don't think I really succeeded in that, but I just didn't want anything to be the same exact pattern, so I tried to really go willy-nilly everywhere, and I like the end result. And then I just also added a little bit of the color on the petals. I ended up just fully coloring them, and then I just dry brush over white so it blends them out a little bit better. Because trying to do it like really specifically was not working, and we all know how I am with that, so you know, go for it with it.
So technically, our lovely bean here is finished, but you all know me, and I just wanted to make it a little bit fancier because I never know when to stop, and I've been going back and forth this entire project if I should add lights or not. And of course I've decided that yes, I am in fact going to add lights. Like, you see how, like, just imagine like every little petal just having a little subtle glow. I mean, also I have to figure out where I'm gonna put the battery packs, but you know, we'll get there when we get there.
You know, someone really needs to learn how to rein me in a little bit every now and again, but basically the process was just dab of glue, place LED, and then repeat a bajillion times.
It's just a little subtle glow, you know? I like it. I like it a lot. I think that adds a lot to it, and a little bit of little fantasy extras. Now I'm just gonna do this everywhere, and I'm not gonna bore you with me just gluing LEDs, so I'll come back when I'm done. That is looking so heckin' good so far. It is gonna be a nightmare trying to hide all these wires, but I mean, just look at that. Just a little check-in for you, a little check-in. I still gotta do all the legs, but yeah, it's looking good. Update on the lights. I have installed all of them, and I want you to guess in the comments right now how many freaking fairy light packs are in this dragon, because you can't see them. You can't see them. I hit all the wires. Let's see if I can find one. No. Hold on, I'll find one. I hit all the wires, like I wove them all throughout the scale. In case you want to know, there is 9 fairy light packs in here. There's 5 for the back, and there's 4 for the front. Each leg has its own. The belly is one. This is one. This is one. This is one. That is one. That is one. This back here is one. And just, oh, it is everywhere. As you can see, my sanity is a little bit gone trying to do all this, my goody gumdrops. This baby's all done. I mean, she all painted. She got all her colors. She got all her scales. Her little horny horns are done. And just, she's just so, oh, she's so beautiful. So I guess that means it's montage time. And this isn't the most graceful clip to end with, but you know what? That's just on brand for me, so let's go.